Jump scare. That's right, you can't trust the timer. We could come back at any time. We're always watching. And we are excited because we are already nearly ready to get into our next match. Things moving rapidly. Speaking of moving rapidly, one player that surprised you in that previous round, Gex?
In our previous round that we had on stream, or out of the entire...
No, just the previous round, the round of 16. Who surprised you?
I got to shout out just the closest match of that entire thing was the Brinken match. Apparently, if you want content, you just watch wherever Brinken goes. But
sure.
Everybody reaching 100 on that. I mean, I just didn't see that coming out of either of the bottom two there. So that's huge. And I thought Brinken would be far and away the leader on that, but apparently not.
Yeah, absolutely. Formal, anyone? I think I'm going to throw a player at you, Formal. Oris, not a huge performance in the round of 16.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker. I actually wanted to go to Marmalade, though, for advancing through, getting ahead of Massa. So, starting soon.
We're back. Jump scare again. Yeah, Massa dropped down into the losers bracket as well. And Ryan, I'm going to move us forward very quickly because this match is very nearly ready to launch. We're going to stick with the losers bracket for this match as well because, hey, eliminations are now on the line. Sure, we already eliminated about 150 players in our seeding, but we are now eliminating from the round of 64. We're going to be jumping into the match with Ignite, Kebby, Fegley, and Bestie. Can I get a one-word, two-word prediction? Who do you think's going through, Ryan?
Kebby and Ignite.
Yep, that seems fair. We are in match. Go, casters, get in there.
All right, let's get into this one. The quick drop, Ryan. We're getting absolutely thrown into this one, and gotta say, I think that's obviously the better choices. If we're ordering this by seeding, and I assume we are, Ignite and Kebby at the top there, with Ignite above Kebby actually on that. But I think one of the reasons that we're focusing in on this one is it might be some of our last chances to get to see some of these countries, USA with Fegley there, and Bestie coming in as well with Czechia. But Czechia's, I feel like we're going to see more of them at least.
I mean, yeah, we've got Elcon, so I think Czechia's place is probably secure in the mixed solo tournament all the way until the grand final. Kebby flying the flag for Sweden, who I guess their biggest competitor is going to be Norway. I saw Virtual on stream yesterday saying, as long as we beat Sweden, I don't care, basically.
Fair enough, too. You got to have your goal post set right, you know? Once you get past that, then you can move the goalposts. It's a specialty for America, so they're gonna have to.
Well, we start back off on Cryomass by Roxy, 4 rounds per map, and we alternate all the way through until we get our 2 winners. And this one, we are going to eliminate some players. We are now in the lower bracket. 32 players remain in uppers, 32 down to lowers, and 16 of them will be disappearing in this round, and probably a couple of countries with it as well. We are seeing Team USA out front at the moment, led by Fegley. Kebby has had a bit of a mistake despite leading this round early. The thing is, I'm not that familiar with these players, not names that I've heard as much before, but I feel like we're going to get quite a close match, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably going to be a sentiment shared across just basically put on the fact that this is the first round of the lowers as well. So you are looking at the players who are just getting through here. They're trying for whatever they can make, and you got to respect that they are pushing well here to have made it even through that. I mean, so many players turned up. The qualifiers were not easy.
Yeah, 270 players, and we're already at top 64. So, like, to get here in itself was an achievement, 100%. Like, these maps are not easy to drive. They are difficult maps. They each have their own unique twist to them. Like, for example, on this map, we see those ice turns. You have the reactors and the risky finishes on the other two. They're a really nice group of maps. But they are challenging. They are very challenging.
Looking like a pretty good start from Kebby, as you shouted out there. Fegley doing quite well in the mix right now. Ignite, oh, some more contact there. He's not having a great one this lap.
The two main protagonists so far are looking like Kebby and Fegley as they finished 1 and 2. Bestie comes in third, Ignite fourth, and we're kind of starting to see the two front runners pull away already. Kebby on 23 points, Fegley just a point behind on 22 as we go into our last round here on Cryomass.
Final round, and with a decent lead from Kebby and Fegley actually here. It is good news for Team USA, but it's only one map, so a lot still in it here for Ignite to pull forward, but currently equal with that 12 points on Bestie.
I'm trying to see who Heavy lost to actually in that upper bracket match. It was Smiley Bob and Nobu, so Norway already 1-0 up there, unlucky yeah. Sweden. But it was close. Kebby was on finalist, but just couldn't quite convert that into
wow, Fegley.
Into getting through into uppers, as much as we saw with Miles as well. So close, yet not quite close enough.
Fegley out in front for this entire lap so far. Bestie has been able to close the gap twice, but can't keep up right to the finish line through the gates. It will be Fegley again who gets that 10 points, and I believe that means it will be well ahead out of Kebby right now.
Yeah, I mean, the times weren't that insane. I'll say that much. That was, what, like a second off world record, and we were watching Elcon drive within 0.2, yeah. 0.3 earlier, which just insanity already. So, you know, some conservative times. I feel like it's definitely more about consistency. I think it's going to be more the mistakes and kind of beating yourself rather than, you know, beating your opponents here. Just making sure you keep it clean, drive those safe lines, get to that finish, and, you know, just slowly accumulate those points.
Especially with where we are in the bracket, of course. Again, exactly. It is you have to be realistic with where you are, and I do agree. It's going to be that consistency that will carry you through here, and we almost saw that from your pick of last match. Bring him through as well. So I have to see if England has that consistency where they've dropped down.
Okie dokie then. End of warm-up, we do go on to our second map in the rotation, which is Board On by Leroy featuring Feed. We saw the line from Postito Paco earlier, and so far he's the only player that I've seen to be doing that. No one else. I mean, if the line has been discovered before, no one else is using it, but Paco showing his hand early, and like we said, I think that will probably get copied as we go into tomorrow.
Well, it's a hard thing to put in tournament, is it? Because if you haven't practiced it, huge risk to take to introduce a totally new tech to your run mid-tournament and expect it to pay off. Wow, close front pack here, though. Could be anybody's out of that top three. Kebby well behind right now, though. Fegley has been fairly dominant so far, and looks like he might pull out in front. Ignite has a chance. It is absolute nail biter through the finish. In fact, he does pick it up by 0.07 over Ignite and 0.09 for Bestie.
It really does feel like a lottery, that finish, doesn't it? You see all the players go through that last checkpoint neck and neck, and it's like anyone could take this.
It's definitely fastest to reach that booster, though. Like the moment you get to that, you are jetted in the other direction because of the surface, and that's the understanding you have to have coming into mixed. It is such a great game mode for that in general. You come in here, you have to know your surfaces.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're fully right. Like sending it, you know, vertically upwards and getting that booster, but if you don't leave yourself enough time to then turn around, get that 180, you get that booster and you're sliding, like, you know, you could end up completely falling off the platform if you haven't managed to straighten the car up completely. So it is a real, like, risk versus reward finish there. It's great to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you basically do have a risky finish versus a safe finish with the same gate, don't you? It's quite an interesting one. There you go. Bestie again does get that line, but oh, that is a catch up from Kebby and Fegley there, who both again within 0.1 of a second. It is really close to the top 3, and it doesn't seem to matter who it is.
No, that win from Bestie there, putting some breathing space between himself and Ignite once again. Fegley currently 10 points ahead of Kebby as well, taking a commanding lead in the match, but we haven't got to a player that has got halfway to that magical 100 points yet, but Fegley seems like he's going to be the one to do it first as things stand.
Yeah. It's interesting. We didn't really get to get predictions from the whole desk. In fact, it was only you before we went in there, dropped straight into the match. But I was going to say, just for the hopes for USA there, Fegley had to be my pick, just for them to continue their run. And he is absolutely blitzing it right now. 10 points separates him and Kebby in second, which means that there is an entire win and DQ out there available for Fegley right this second. So he's got a fairly good lead right now. He's got to be feeling somewhat safe, and you got to start focusing on just consistency here. Another second from Fegley is looking like that's what he's trying to lock in. But again, so close to Kebby in number 1 spot for that lap.
I will say, I think the USA is actually one of the largest teams that have entered that Trackmania games in terms of just pure number of players, which maybe they don't have, like the standout players, but they have
the top end,
depth. Yeah, they have so much depth and quantity that potentially they could actually be quite a dark horse throughout the tournament.
Well, again, it comes down to kind of the game mode we're playing too, doesn't it? When you're looking at a nation where I don't think that's always been the case where they had that depth, but when it's coming in now and it's a bit younger for the region to have that, that's where you see them get a little bit more dominated. It is the experience coming through with all these different track services and everything that will carry through the really big names. You just need the time to get up there into that spot, and I think USA has a bright future ahead.
I'm looking at the Liquipedia page now,
huge.
And they have 30 players listed.
Wow.
As being signed up. I'm not seeing that many on the team graphic, but it's at least 20, which
obviously
is
a very competitive nation as well. Just because you turn
100%.
up doesn't mean that you're going to compete, but it's a good representation for the country for sure.
Well then, 8 rounds done, which means that we move on to our third and our final map in the rotation. Which is going to be Addiction by Mime. We've said it a couple times, probably the hardest track. We'll see if it presents any problems for any of the players here. Things as it stands, Fegley on 58. Kebby has closed that gap now on 56, but then we have a gap forming 15 points adrift is Bestie in third, and then Ignite trailing on 31. Bestie, if he can put in a performance here, maybe could look to catch Kebby and Fegley, but I feel like we're already starting to see who our two main contenders for advancing in the lower bracket are, right?
Fegley, though, really has used up all of that safety time he has for pure consistency, and now Kebby's on top of him again, so he's going to have to go for some more blazing runs here, risk it for the biscuit if he wants to keep that first spot. Of course, both of these players, I think, are likely at this point to be hitting finalists at the same time, but there is still roughly half a series left here to decide that, and Kebby could still pull back ahead enough to make that not the case.
Going to the outside dirt turn, and there's Kebby
like
with a small mistake, tiny little touch, but players so close together that it is going to put him all the way back in fourth place.
What a corner from Fegley.
Yeah, that was really nice. I tell you what, the world record on this track is absolutely insane. It's like the smallest margins, like you just clip the edge of the reactor and you just miss this wall, and it's so entertaining to watch. What happened there? I missed
Fegley,
that.
hit the platform and didn't make either finish, had to reset, and then did take the risky finish still. Ignite really did win that one on consistency, I will say. That swapped and changed towards the front so many times throughout that. The only person not really making an error was Ignite, and that's what brought him through in first place, even if it wasn't by much.
Yeah, I feel like this map could kind of be, you know, a war of attrition, really, in terms of just trying to keep the mistakes down and hoping that your opponents do. I feel like maybe you don't need to push quite as hard to get that, you know, banger time, like a couple of tenths off your PB. I feel like the main goal is survival as things stand.
Well, it is going to be very, very difficult to get into that survival position. Ignite came through as the #1 from seeding of this match and still trails Bestie by 4 points at the bottom of this leaderboard. It's going to be very, very much a focus on survival for him, but it's not looking great from this round again as he's led by some margin. Kebby behind as well, though, so this is allowing Fegley his chance to gain back that lead again. He will do so well here.
Yeah, Ignite losing out to Letzter and Kvik in the uppers there. Didn't actually make it to finalist. But as you say, came into this match as the top seed, but just hasn't quite been able to find the pace or consistency or combination of so far. Fegley back into a slight lead again over Kebby. I'd maybe just overall expect him to end up on finalist first, as he seemed to also have the best map one out of all the players as well. We'll have to see.
We're seeing Kebby out ahead right now, so it is looking good for him. It is addiction. It's so tough to predict somebody before and the last few turns on this one. Kebby with quite a good lead here, though. I think this is the most stretched pack we've seen on any run so far. And it's tough when you're dropping down again into this the earliest stage of the lower qualifiers here. Lower bracket, I should say. You are looking at the consistency when you're coming through addiction in particular. This map is such a killer.
That was a really nice time from Kebby there. 57.572 would put him just outside the top 15 times. World record currently, or was this morning before the tournament started, was a 57.342. So within about 2.5 tenths of world record. Really nice time there. A couple of players acknowledging that in the chat
Ignite.
as well. So,
touch early.
You know, Kebby has the pace. Does he have the consistency to take the fight to Fegley now?
Yeah. It's interesting watching the mistakes that are coming out, particularly from the supposed top seed in this one as well, simply because of what Newelauch brought up during our death segment leading into this, and that is the nerves. The pressure on right now in knockout position is huge. Fegley missed the booster. That is
so
brutal.
Easy to do, though. That's what I mean. Like the world record, like barely clips it.
Yeah,
like, it's
you gotta cut
like
it.
A pixel.
Fine. Kebby straight through the top end, followed by Bestie. Fegley falling behind here with some dramatic point loss here, actually. I think Fegley might lose his first place after that one. Let me see the point update. Yes, he has by 3 points, yeah.
Not a good map for Fegley then, but that will be likely the last time, or the one and only time, that we will see Addiction by Mime in this rotation. Unless Bestie and Ignite really just flip the script entirely. But yeah, back on to Cryomass by Roxy, and Fegley looked better here. I'd say equal to Kebby, roughly.
We'll have to see if he can pull it out again. Again, with the pressure building towards the end of this series as well. 2 people will go home here. Certainly seems like Fegley's keen to not be one of them. I think these top 2 might be just about safe at this point, though. I mean, they've got quite a good lead here.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the points distribution, just even getting to this stage will net you some points. just participating in the seeding got you a mere 5 points, but getting to what would we be 49th to 64th, that will get you 86 points towards your country's final point score. So not to be sniffed at. I will say that first does get 1,000, so it does kind of ramp up towards the business end, but you know, always trying to score points.
The country's needing them here, and Gabby leading up by only that 3 points. Is it more pressure in this particular scenario where you are in knockout position? Is it more pressure to be that number one? Because I feel like if I'm in this matchup right now, I'm comfortable just having a lead on third. If I can avoid knockout, that's all that matters to me at this exact moment. Would you be feeling the same?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you're saying, like, oh, if second is guaranteed, I don't need to push it that hard to try and win the match.
Yeah.
Because I guess, like, seeding doesn't matter now. Like, if you win the match, you don't get an easier next match. You just go into, you know, the next thing in the bracket. So yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But perhaps for confidence, you know, you still want to, like,
yeah, absolutely,
you know, push it and see. You want to be beating other people. Like, if you go into a match and be like, oh, I didn't even beat this guy in the last match, how am I meant to beat him here, you know? It's maybe that kind of feeling. So
and also for kind of that threat onto your opponents as well. If you come out of this match very dominantly, even the people who are dropping down to meet you in the next round will have seen your results, at least you would hope. And that does bring in something different and put more pressure on your opponents as well. So yeah, I think there is something to win here, but yeah, if I still think if it's on me right now, I just want to avoid that knockout scenario, particularly first round knockout. Very much something you want to avoid, and Fegley not doing so well at avoiding it right this second.
No, and Kebby, if he makes this finish, will be going on to finalist. Does go on to finalist. Fegley, I mean, from third place, like you mentioned, still has a really decent cushion. It's 17 points. And he only needs, what, 13 to get onto finalists himself? I feel like Fegley probably does make this here. It would have to be a complete disaster for that not to happen. Kebby looks to be in pole position. Maybe had a little bit of shakiness at the start, but has won pretty much every round that I can remember in the last 5 minutes or so.
I mean, that 17-point gap to third, I have seen it conquerable before. I think once Kebby does get through, if he's out first here, and it does look like he will be, Fegley's certainly not going to be putting a challenge to it after that bump. And Kebby going out first here means Fegley has to lead, and that's going to be a mental challenge as well. Again, you get knocked out, so you've got to be absolutely pinning it, and I think that's going to be in his mind. He might not go for that consistency run, which is really what he could have done to this point. I think it's too late now.
Yeah, big mistakes from Ignite and Bestie as well. Is going to be exactly what Fegley wants to see. Kebby, though, does go through in first place, stays alive in the lower bracket. GG, well played, Kebby. And now it is all down to Fegley, who is a mere 7 points away. So a win in the next round would put him on to finalist. Or do the points change now, don't they? Is it 10 points for second now? How are we doing this?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Regardless,
we will find out.
Is going to be breathing a huge sigh of relief coming out there early. Doesn't have to actually really fight for that qualifier position and goes out before anybody else reaches it. Fegley with 93, you would expect with a decent run here, and is out ahead by some margin, would be taking that next qualifying spot, and for his sake, he would hope to close it out quickly. But like I said, there was, at least last round, there was kind of that room for Bestie to get back in. I think he needed a good round there to keep saying that, though.
Yeah, 100%. Fegley does have a lead over Bestie. It's 0.25 as they go through the last checkpoint here. Has to make it into that finish. Goes very close. He gets a pixel clip. Doesn't make it. Gets the 6 points, but that's not going to be enough to go on to finalist. And a little bit of pressure being applied by Bestie onto Fegley there.
I think had he come out in third there, he'd be under a lot more pressure. At least he's still got that point gap to second place right now, but that would have dried up quite significantly had it been 10 points to 4 rather than 10 to 6. Right now, though, I think Fegley will be happy with just needing to finish to be in qualifier position, where Basti is still not in that position.
Yeah, sure, but like Fegley's still going to want to win this round, right? Because, you know, it's only 1 point that he needs to get to finalist, but if he finishes in third place and Bestie gets another 10 points on him, that's finalist with Bestie on 93, if my maths is correct.
Yeah, it's quite interesting for Fegley, as Bestie sends it off the edge in the warm-up. Some mistakes made, but that's where you want to make them, in that warm-up segment. And now, new map is a little bit scary on that qualifier point as well. Fegley not quite there yet and has to now make his adjustments and stay out ahead on Burden.
Last map then. This is where it feels like it gets decided. We haven't spoken that much about Ignite, but he is 31 points off of finalist, and I don't think that he's going to be featuring much further, to be honest. He's currently third in the round as we have our two main protagonists, Bestie and Fegley, separated by mere hundredths. Bestie has the better line, but Fegley has slightly more speed as we go into the final couple of drifts. Different line there. Fegley carrying more speed through with the wider line as well. Should be able to carry more speed on the outside dirt. Does anyone touch? They're so close. It's going to be all down to the finish. Who's going to get it? It's going to be neck and neck. And it is Fegley with the 10 points. So, I mean, the result is the same. Ends up on finalist, but denies that pressure from Bestie.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing there. There is still an entire win away and a bit for the finalist position from Bestie. It is not going to happen now that he's able to hold off Fegley for 3 wins straight. That seems incredibly unlikely, nay, impossible. And now Fegley is going to... Surely Fegley has to feel a little bit of the pressure relieved, but maybe not when he's trailing right now quite significantly.
How much is it? 0.4 from Ignite. Obviously needs to win the round. Bestie currently in first place would put him up to 99. So, I mean, that last round then, in the context of this one, very important. Because if it had been Bestie first, and Bestie first here, you'd be looking at double finalist.
Yeah, you would. Absolutely. Fegley kind of clutching up in that last round, I think, as this next one could be looking very, very different had he not. It is enough for Fegley to just continue through now as the only finalist, but one more round could cost him that as well. He's definitely going to have to finish things off now or be under a lot more pressure.
Yeah, Bestie is really stepping up on this map, though. We saw him within a tenth of Fegley's winning time in round 1. Confidently wins round 2. Fegley in third place as we start things off here, so whatever happens here, Bestie will end up on finalist unless Fegley gets the dub. But once again, 2 or 3 tenths behind as we go into the wood and plastic section.
Pushing some big errors out of the early stages here. It does seem Fegley is massively impacted by the pressure on him now. Some mistakes coming out could cost it. Bestie still trying to push through for a first, but he will be a finalist if Fegley cannot make that catch up. He's slowly closing a bit of a gap here, but Bestie picks up a little speed again now, coming through the back end, through that small bit of plastic. Bestie out in front, and without a huge error, he will be there on finalist as well. And the chance now for the spot to be sniped away from Fegley.
Yeah, Fegley, like, I don't want to say the word body language, but he's driving nervously. You can tell. And I mean, who's to blame him? It's the highest stakes, but Bestie, like, clutching. Never mind. Never mind. All right, well, it's going to have to be Ignite then to deny Fegley, who is not featured that much in this match, but once again, Fegley with a poor start, probably about 0.2 or so behind Ignite has not been the most consistent, though, so Fegley could look for a mistake, and there it is. Fegley puts himself into pole position, has to calm those hands, stop those thumbs from shaking, drive that car to the finish. He's got a 4/10 gap. Any mistake would cost him.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and drive for just consistency towards the end of this. The last half of this match has never been the problem for him on this map, though, and he is not looking to change that now. It's probably not the way he wanted to take out the position, but he will close it out here and move forward, which means that we will say goodbye to Bestie and Ignite after such a good run from Bestie to manage to get back to finalist position, which did not look likely.
No, I mean, that match really reached a crescendo, didn't it? Like, Kebby and Fegley looked like they were running off into the distance, and all of a sudden Bestie is like, I'm still in this, dude. Like, don't count yourself in yet. Like, I'm coming for you. And yeah, I mean, two second places and 2 first places really piled the pressure on, but ultimately Fegley was able to calm those nerves and advance through to that next round in the lower bracket. Great match.
Yeah, you shouted it out, though. Kebby winning it there. Big congratulations to Kebby. But both of these only get their privilege to take on the next lot to drop down to them. They will be moving on to the next bracket of the losers final there. We are going to be throwing to a quick break, though. I don't think I'm going to be back after this one for the night. I will be seeing you guys again over the course of the competition, but thank you guys for having me on as we send it off here. I will catch you on the other side, and Ryan, I'll see you during the break.